On your whiteboard, please tell me how many axes does the DSM have? What do you got, Bella? 5. On your whiteboard, please tell me what is the third axis holding? What does the third axis have? Ooh. More than a fever. Showing off the Eagles.
I think it's like that Zookeeper movie.
Oh, yeah.
Where all the animals are singing it and describing.
What? I've never seen that movie. Mary Kay, what is it?
Yes.
General medical conditions. On your whiteboard, please tell me personality disorders are located on what axis? What is it, Hannah? Axis 2. On your whiteboard, please tell me. This is used by the federal government to decide how much assistance you need from the federal government. It is filled out by your physician. What the hell? Okay, what is it? Axis 5 is where that's located. What is it actually called on your whiteboard? Please tell me. Axis 5 is called what? There you go. I got 1. I think we should just watch Saving Private Ryan. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I'm watching that tonight.
Why are you watching that tonight?
Because we're learning about World War II and April, so it's like...
You should definitely show
I like Enemy.
Enemy of the Gates was so good.
Oh, yeah.
So good. What is it called, Peyton?
Global assessment function.
There you go. On your whiteboard, please tell me what axis would you pay attention to if you don't know what the disorder is, but you have a bunch of symptoms and you're hoping to figure out looking at the symptoms and figuring out what the disorder is. What is it, Valeria? Axis 3. On your whiteboard, please tell me where would you find your clinical disorders? We all have more than a feeling in our head, and it's completely your fault.
I was just about to say that when I walked in. I was like, thanks, Miss Bennett, because I have it stuck in my head.
I'm so thrilled by that. Annie!
1.
Axis 1 on your whiteboard. Please tell me what is in Axis 4. Put you back up. Make sure it has pages in it though. Good. Eva. There you go. Where are you in AP Psych?
Same section as you, chapter 12, right?
Are you doing psychological disorders? Are you doing anxiety today? Finishing up anxiety and moving to somato? Nice. Have you done social? Have you done motivation?
Oh, yeah.
On your whiteboard, please tell me what is it called when you can be lying on a picnic blanket, you're hanging out, everything's great, and all of a sudden you have this overwhelming sense of doom for no specific reason. Smith. Free floating anxiety. On your whiteboard, please tell me what is in OCD, what do you do to eradicate the anxiety? You have anxiety because of, say, germs. What do you do to eradicate it? Good. I got 2, 3, 4. What does that even say? Exactly. There you go. Repetitive rituals. On your whiteboard, please tell me what is exactly how I feel right now. On your whiteboard, please tell me what is it called when you cannot brush your teeth, you cannot cook for yourself, you cannot bathe yourself, you cannot clean for yourself. What is that called? Good. What is it, Nick? Maladaptive. On your whiteboard, please tell me what is it called when in a court of law you can't be held accountable for your actions because you weren't in the correct state of mind. Good. What is it, Skylar? Insanity. On your whiteboard, please tell me what is it called when you... what looks at illogical thinking patterns? What theme looks at illogical thinking patterns?
But it came out of that book, so don't move that book.
You just ripped it out? I don't want to know that. I don't even want to know. I don't want to
Oh my
know.
gosh, we always did that. We used to
Shush,
keep
Grace.
stuff in our backpack.
Grace, that's not helpful. What is it, Chris? Cognitive on your whiteboard. Which one looks at the chemical imbalance? I believe my sister has a chemical imbalance in her brain. What theme am I? Good. What is it, James? Biological. On your whiteboard, please. Anytime anyone says anything in a British accent, it's way fancier. It's so annoying. Do they feel this way about Americans over there? No. Damn it. Yeah, that's no one's arguing that. I don't know. French people with the French accents on English words is pretty damn great too. I don't care about what the English like. I'm not talking about English. I ain't English. I'm American. I ain't English. I'm American. On your whiteboard. We're just rolling with it, people. I'm not in my best state. Can't we just watch Saving Private Ryan?
Yes. We don't. No, wait, we talked about that movie
We
then.
have an essay tomorrow.
That's so
In
nice.
English, we don't even get to learn about the battles. We just learn about like the stupid battle stuff.
The
Let's
teacher
do
meeting.
Huh?
That's all.
I know. I'm so irritated. What is
Six
that?
months.
I want to learn about Hitler. Like, what?
Stop it.
Really? They don't cover it deeper?
No, we don't even learn.
We look at it from the
We'll learn
US
about, like,
thing,
war
which is
bonds,
understandable,
or, like
but, like,
war
still.
bonds in the economy.
We sold
That's
weapons.
so interesting.
We did it before.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we don't know what we do is learn
War
about
bonds
the
are great. Cash
bonds.
carry,
We don't learn about any
lenses.
of the cool stuff. I'm so mad about it.
Oh, that's so disappointing. I was
You're
hoping.
learning things.
Huh?
Like everyone only talks about Hitler. No one thinks about like every other part of the world.
Excuse me, do not say everyone. You did not sit in my classroom. I showed clips from the Pacific. I did a bunch of
learned
stuff.
so
She
much
did it
about the
from
World War
any
stuff.
of the gates. I learned so much about the, what's it called? The one I'm blanking on the name. The
Stalingrad?
Russia one. Stalingrad was crazy.
Oh,
No idea about that. That was wild.
Never go into Russia in the winter.
Yes.
Never. June 22nd is a terrible day to go into Russia. Just stay out. Don't go to Russia on your birthday. Hitler and Napoleon went in on their birthday.
Yes.
They didn't really do so well.
Really? It's your birthday?
No, they're not born on the same day. They both invaded Russia on the same day. Do you listen to me, Skylar? And you should know that too.
It sounded like that's what you were saying.
No, I
So,
remember that so much.
maybe
better.
so.
It's also my wedding anniversary.
22nd.
Yeah.
Make sure to
I won't go to Russia on my
say
wedding
happy
anniversary.
anniversary.
No, but it's funny. I'm so bitter. I was like remembering last year. I was like, damn, I was just so achy
Yeah.
because we don't learn about anything like cool about the war this year. That's why I'm watching.
That
Saving Private
stinks.
Ryan
Let's get back to work.
Yeah, I actually was.
We had a crazy
I'm ready.
embargo on
I'm excited for
Japan.
videos.
tonight. Oh wow.
All right, Smith is ruining all of our good time.
And they're like,
Way to go. All right, so.
What's new, though?
Huh?
Oh.
Oh, it's always the nice one. It's always the nice
Instead of
one.
like Loki, like evil.
I don't know if she's Loki evil. But.
That's the whole word.
All right, so today I have a bunch of stuff for you. So tomorrow, the good thing is for you guys is since I am seeing you tomorrow, who is not coming? All of you coming? You should be here if you're a junior. Why aren't you coming? It's a free SAT. It's saving you $110. Oh, are you? I didn't know that. Where are you? Are you a senior?
Yeah.
Oh, I said, oh. Where are you going to school next year?
USF.
Oh, how exciting. Where are you going to school? Somewhere in Denver?
Yeah.
Denver? What's in Denver? Denver. Sorry. I'm not feeling well and I feel very judged right now. What's in Denver? Is family up there? Alright. I hate all of you.
You ignored me when I said.
What?
I said mono, and you
She's on a
completely
mean
ignored
streak.
me.
I think I do have mono.
Yeah, so does everybody else at Plant. I mean,
Everyone has it?
for a while, it like everybody had it.
It stays in your system for the rest of your life.
That's unfortunate. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. All right, obsessive compulsive disorder is where we left off, correct?
Yeah.
It is important that you understand that. For your application for obsessive compulsive, I would say you are obsessed with germs, and your compulsion is to wash your hands 100 times a day. Okay, so whatever you're stressed about or whatever gives you the most anxiety is going to cause the rituals to occur. Does that make sense? So say for instance you have anxiety about getting lost. So your compulsion is to plan out every single step you take on a map before you do it or something like that. Does that make sense? Your rituals are about alleviating the stress. So if you don't do the rituals, the stress only builds, which is why people with OCD are literally obsessed with doing their rituals because it's the only thing that alleviates their stress. So what do you do to alleviate stress? Take a nap, sleep, of course. Okay, who here goes for a run? Oh, good. There's no high functioning people here. I'm so glad. Ugh. Why? Running? Oh, well, okay, that would be bad for you. I'm an eater. By eating, it makes me feel better about my stress. That's one of my favorite things to do. Okay, that's how we alleviate stress. If you have obsessive compulsive disorder, you have to do a compulsion in order to alleviate that stress. It only gets worse and worse and worse. So please know, it's not like they want to do the rituals. Okay, it's not like they derive pleasure from the rituals. It's about alleviating the stress. That if they don't do it, that stress is just going to boil inside of them and make it worse. So they do it in order to eradicate. All right, so panic disorder with agoraphobia is fear of leaving one's familiar places because one might have a panic attack in public. I think we can all agree, especially if you've experienced a panic attack, they're horrifying and embarrassing and so scary. So having it out in public would just make it worse. So people who typically get panic attacks a lot typically don't leave their house that often. Would you? If you had a panic disorder, which means you have multiple a month, okay, that means you are more and more likely going to be seen by others, and it's embarrassing. No one's like, yeah, I'm going to have a panic attack today. Yeah. You know, it's one of those things people have to deal with. All right, so this is your big one for anxiety disorders. It's called generalized anxiety disorders. It's GAD for short. It's a disorder in which a person has a feeling of dread and impending doom along with physical symptoms of stress. It lasts for 6 months or more. So what generalized anxiety disorder is you think of your worst day of anxiety. Okay, whatever was happening. Maybe it was your first real big AP exam. Maybe it was, a funeral or something personal going on in your life. That whole, super stressed, can't breathe, your chest won't move, you feel like your chest is crushing you, all of that terrible anxiety. Imagine having that for 6 months straight. Unable to eat normally, sleep normally, feel like yourself normally. That's what generalized anxiety disorder does. And it has no official trigger and it has no official end date. It's just constant stress, constant blood pressure's up, lack of sleep, like we talked about, eating, all of those different types of components. Can you imagine living with that for 6 months at a time? Imagine, in a high-stress situation, obviously we go through our stages. What are the stages for high-stress situations? Don't do this to me. Huh? Alarm.
Alarm. Wasn't it
Resistance, then
exhaustion.
So when you're someone who has GAD, you're someone who is just constantly going through your alarm, your resistance, and your exhaustion stage within this anxiety, and there's no break. So I have a girl who's going to explain what it feels like. She is a high school girl, and she is what I would say is the worst type of high school girl. She's the super, super annoying girl. She's also obsessed with Glee. So you know the girl I'm kind of talking about, you know what I mean? We all know one. So she's kind of a little extra on pretty much everything. But she does a really good job of explaining what it's like to have generalized anxiety disorder.
I also want to do this kind of to kick off a series where I talk about this kind of
she
stuff
doesn't
and
even
other
listen
stuff
to
I
me,
have.
even on
And then the
this.
big
Okay. Yeah, she does.
Hi,
She's
everybody.
going to explain it to you of what it feels like. So she's a little immature, as you'll hear as she goes through and explains. But she does a really good job of explaining exactly how it feels and stuff like that, which is why I show it to you. Keep in mind that she's really passionate about Glee. And I warned you. So, I'm just letting you know. But she does a really good job of explaining it. And I have a couple students, a couple students who have talked to me after seeing this video. And they're like, yeah, that's actually kind of how it feels. So, she's a little quirky. Keep in mind, just because if you have generalized anxiety disorder, does that not make you an immediate fan of Glee? So, keep that in mind. So, just making sure that's clear.
You know me.
Ah.
You probably know that I'm a really big fan of the TV show Glee. On it tonight, they're going to do a Born This Way thing. Like, you know the song by Lady Gaga? Everybody knows the song by Lady Gaga. And it's like, yeah, I was born this way, and it's like pride about who you are, and la la la. And they're going to sing it on Glee tonight, and everybody has shirts. And it's something about themselves. But I really liked Emma's. Emma is the guidance counselor who's kind of, you know, she has OCD, and so her shirt says OCD, and I really like that, and I wanted it, but OCD, while I have it, isn't one of my biggest things, so I decided to make one out of my biggest thing that nobody understands what it is, and that is this, which is GAD. GAD stands for Generalized Anxiety Disorder, which is something I have really badly. A lot of people who are hopefully watching this know me in real life and go to school with me, and those people would know that a lot of the times I'm not there. And you know, I've gotten a lot of crap for that, and I get jokes like, I think you're faking, which just really kind of bugs me. And it's not only because of the anxiety, a lot of it is actually because of my pain disorder. I have fibromyalgia, but one of the biggest things I have is generalized anxiety disorder, which is kind of what it sounds like. I'm going to try to explain it because many people, I assume, would hear the name of it and just think, oh, anxiety, well, I get that. Everybody has that, blah, 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 blah. Like, oh, I've heard about depression before. Like, well, everybody gets sad, blah, blah, blah. Like, no. Okay, so I'm going to try to do this. I woke up feeling like this. I get panic attacks a lot. People with generalized anxiety disorder you normally do. So I woke up this morning, and you know the feeling you get when you get in trouble? Whenever I get in trouble, I get this feeling, and my heart beats really quickly, and I can feel it throughout my entire body, and I almost feel it try to like escape through my throat, I guess you could say. I feel like pressure, and my whole chest really feels like this black hole, and everything's collapsing into it, and my lungs are just not capable of holding that much air. I try to breathe in slowly, I just like can't. It feels like I've been running or something. And then I get really, really hot. I'm really hot right now. I get this a lot. I mean, physically, it's not just an in-your-head thing. People are like, no, it's just in your head. I mean, the root might be, but you feel it everywhere, and it does not feel pleasant. A lot of physical, crappy stuff going on. And one of the worst parts of it is that you don't know where the hell it came from. You just get these inexplicable feelings of danger. You don't know why. Nothing happened specifically, necessarily. You're just terrified, and you don't know why. And one of the other big problems with that is that because you feel terrified, you go through your head what could be wrong, and then you find things, and then you get more freaked out. And a lot of the times people with all kinds of anxiety disorders, including OCD and phobias and stuff, we know that it's totally irrational. We know that our fears and all of that are we know that they make no sense. We know that whatever we're afraid of isn't going to hurt us or whatever, but it's the physical feelings that we cannot change. Really, I think that the biggest fear that a person with an anxiety disorder has is fear itself, in the form of a panic attack. I do everything I can not to get them. Really, there are many points to this video. This shirt, you know, for the episode tonight, and hopefully I'll walk around school tomorrow whenever I get to go next, which will hopefully be very soon, and people will be like, what's GAD? And I'll be like, let me tell you, and hopefully they'll understand. I also want to do this kind of to kick off the series where
You're glad I warned you, are you not? She's a lot coming in. But, I mean, it is a good explanation of how it feels. I mean, imagine how hard it would be every single day waking up with high anxiety without any reason and having that same level of anxiety for 6 months at a time. All right, so generalized anxiety, you good? Everyone clear? Yes?
Yes.
Good talk, guys. Good talk. Thank you, Smith, for being here. All right, so these are your causes. I would flip to the back of your focus. You have some room there, and these are your causes of anxiety disorder. So, according to Psychoanalytic, they believe anxiety disorders are caused by repressed urges and desires. You're going to write this in on the blank sheet in case you didn't figure that out by me saying the back of your focus. They believe all of your anxiety disorders, whether you're having OCD, whether you are bipolar. Nope, bipolar is not an anxiety disorder. Whether you're having OCD or a panic attack, that it's caused by repressed urges and desires that are trying to come out consciously. Does that look awfully similar to the themes we did earlier? Hello?
Yes.
Good. All right. Then this is creating anxiety that is controlled by abnormal behavior. So our girl who just talked to us about generalized anxiety disorder has repressed urges that's causing her to have this high level of anxiety. All right. Your next one is behaviorists. They believe that her disordered behavior is learned through both positive and negative reinforcement. So essentially, every time she has a panic attack, she gets so much attention, like, oh my God, are you okay? Oh my God, oh my God. That it causes her to want to have another panic attack because she likes that attention. Negative reinforcement, because she doesn't want to go to school. She acts like she has a generalized anxiety disorder, so she doesn't have to go to school. That's what behaviorists think. What? Oh my goodness, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. That's just my laziness. I apologize. Okay, so when we talk about behaviorists, we're talking about the disordered behavior is learned through both positive and negative reinforcement. Okay, so positive would be everyone gives her, fawns over her when she has a panic attack, asking questions. The negative would be, oh my God, I don't want to go to school, so I can act like I had a panic attack so I can get out of school. Do you really think that's the cause?
No.
Do you really think people who have OCD, who literally shut down their whole lives in order to fulfill their compulsions, really just want to get out of going to work for the day? No. Next, you have your cognitive psychologists. They believe that excess anxiety comes from illogical thought processes. I think this one's pretty correct. Would you agree? I think there's some definitely justification in this one. I usually shut this one down. But I think there is definitely something to it. Now, if you turn to your study guide, I'm going to fill in a bunch of stuff in your study guide right here in just a second. So do you see how I teach you what the disorders are, and then we talk about how the different perspectives would treat it, or not treat it, how they would explain it? Next, in 2 weeks, when we do therapy, it's the same type of thing. Here are all the disorders for anxiety. This is how we would treat them. What?
Do we learn about that I've never even say psychotic or sociopathic?
Yeah, to a degree. Limited.
Okay, so just definition.
Yeah. Yeah, basic. Why? Are you fascinated by those people? Yeah.
There was a schizophrenic homeless man walking around Target yesterday.
There's a lot of homeless people who are schizophrenic.
He was walking around, running through the aisles, yelling at himself.
Well, I mean, when you think you're actually seeing things and hearing things that are physically there, you would too, wouldn't you? Like right now, are you having a psychotic breakdown because you're talking to me and speaking to me, or is this real life? People who have schizophrenia can hear and see and feel things that they're experiencing. They can't differentiate between. So think about it. Is this a psychotic experience or not? No, it's not. Of course, it's not. Unless we're all having the same psychotic breakdown, which would be pretty damn impressive. I know you guys are working hard for me, but you ain't working that hard. What?
Getting really deep.
I thought it was interesting that he came in the same time we're learning about this stuff.
All right, so this is on your study guide, by the way. You might as well fill it in since we're here, right, Eva? Perfect. So magnification is the tendency to interpret situation as far more dangerous, harmful, or important than they actually are. Every single one of us has done that to a smaller event. Imagine doing it to every event. Like, for instance, I really thought my junior prom was really going to be, the biggest deal of my life. It was a big deal. I was so stressed about it. I fought with my mom forever because my mom wouldn't help me pay for my dress. I had to do it all by myself. I told my mom she ruined my life because it wasn't going to be a pretty dress. Guess what? I lived a long and successful life post-junior prom. So maybe I was a little dramatic about my junior prom, and I should not have been that mad. Magnification. Now, magnification and that, every single one of you have done something like that. Can we agree? You made one thing, like my 8th grade graduation. I thought that was going to be a big deal. Come to find out, no. Okay? Every single one of us have done it. Imagine doing it to every single thing we come across. Your next one is all or nothing thinking. The tendency to believe that one's performance must be perfect to be a result in a total failure. Okay? Now, I've had a couple of kids who have had generalized anxiety disorder, and one of the biggest things about kids with generalized anxiety disorder is the stress over not having complete homework and complete assignments. So much so that they'll be, the day before the quarter ends, they have zeros all throughout the grade book, and I'm literally trying to grab stuff out of their notebook to grade, give them a partial grade. Because like a 4 is better than a 0, as Noah found out today. My man. Couldn't even get it done today. Okay? Getting a partial grade is better than no grade in my eyes. And it was literally physically hurting those children taking out those partial assignments. Miss Bennett, you can't have it. It's not completed. Well, darling, you had 6 weeks to do this, and you haven't done it. I think it's time to turn it in. And they're like, no, Miss Bennett, it's not done. Yes, I know it's not done, but something is better than a 0. And so that's part of the all or nothing component of it, that they would rather have nothing than partial. All right, your next one is overgeneralization. The tendency to interpret a single negative event as a never-ending pattern of defeat or failure. I use this to my success at the beginning of the year. When you take your first AP Psych exam, don't I say if you don't do well on it, you should drop?
Yeah.
Guess what a lot of kids do? Drop. I told you that if you don't do well on my test in the first couple weeks, that you should probably get out of my class, did I not?
You did.
How many of you have done really terrible on an AP Psych exam? Raise your hands because every single one of you have done it. Every single one of you have bombed one of my tests. Okay? Are you completely destroying AP Psych? No, that is totally untrue. You all know that you can fail a test as long as you do everything else fine, you'll be okay. You'll be okay. You're not going to have like an A if you bomb every test, but you can do pretty damn well. You haven't bombed any of them? I'm going to have to check that. Spot check that. All right. Overgeneralization.
What's a bomb? Yeah.
If you're in like the low 30s,
Oh, no.
that's a 60. That's a D.
Yeah.
Which is what, a 36, 37? That's pretty good. That's pretty good. Ain't 40s all the time. All day. Overgeneralization would believe that one thing would interrupt your entire life. Like if you didn't go see 21 Pilots is apparently playing tonight. Who's going to see 21 Pilots? No one? All right. Huh?
They missed today's San Juan.
What?
They missed today's San Juan.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Where are they playing?
Amalie Arena. One of my friends got like a standing section, so they've been sitting there for like 11 hours.
For 21 Pilots?
Yes.
That's our dedicated.
Does it sound like they have probably like
Yeah, I'm not a fan. I don't get 21 Pilots thing. I think they were famous when I was a kid. They've been around for like ever, haven't they? Or is this...
You think it's Stone Temple Pilots?
Maybe.
The Seattle.
Stone Temple Pilots is different.
21 Pilots?
Yeah, because 21 Pilots has only been around for like.
Stone Temple Pilots.
Yeah, that I definitely know Stone Temple. No, I thought there was another band similar to that. I know it wasn't Stone Temple Pilots, not that.
What's the song way to call them?
More than
More than a feeling.
Oh
no,
Alright, minimization is the tendency to give little or no importance to one's successes or positive events and traits. These are, obviously, I'm not talking about people who actually have it. I'm trying to make it relatable to, of course, you. I think we've all had really bad days that everything's gone wrong, correct? Hello?
Yeah.
These are your super, 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 super negative people who can't even, like, celebrate the small accomplishment. Like, for instance, One of my friends in high school, the moment after we graduated high school, we were all like, oh my God, we did it. And she literally said, no, we still have college.
Ew, I hate her.
Well, she definitely has some sort of anxiety thing. So that's minimization. That no matter what you do, it's never going to be good enough. There's always something else to do. All right. So biological explanation of it is it's a chemical imbalance in the nervous system, particularly serotonin and GABA. You definitely need to know that for your test on Thursday. You're writing it on the back. You know, all those ones I told you should write down that you only wrote down a couple of them, Macy? You should probably write down that one. Oh my goodness.
I was gonna be like, I haven't said.
No, Macy has a tendency of just staring off into space.
I'm listening
I have no doubt that you are. I don't give you a hard time, do I?
now. What?
Oh,
You don't give me a hard time? No.
I love that she said, but I'm always listening.
Yeah. I was focusing on writing. Like,
She's very bright. That's the thing. She's so bright. A hot mess, though. A hot mess. Are you friends with Nina?
yeah.
Okay, I think you two would be friends. I'm glad to hear you're friends. In my head, you're already friends. Sometimes I try matching you people up.
I feel like Ismena makes like little faces.
I do.
She like
Because you're the only people I know, really, and you're the only people I care about. So I'm like, oh my God, it'd be so great if like Madison was friends with this person. They'd be such buddies. Like I have a girl named Caitlin. Her and Mia should be besties. They really should be. In my head, they are. Let they hang out and do stuff together. Yeah, that's Mia's friend. Is a girl named Caitlin who I don't think you've ever met.
Yeah, what if
Oh, I could care less. It's my little world. I get to make whatever I want. I could care less.
Can you imagine you like getting little
You're-
dogs and being like,
Yeah, Mia and Caitlin just hanging out. It's her birthday. I hope you did something nice for Caitlin's birthday. You should go out of your way and do something. You know, she'd do something for you. She's very caring.
is there any other matches that you make?
Alright. I kind of want to know if there are more though.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
like
I mean,
tell each of
Tell
us like
who
our like
we
best
think we're
friends
no,
who they should be.
you're making fun of me. But Caitlin and Mia need to be besties.
You should do that
Maybe.
in that movie week. Like,
No.
After the exam.
Okay. Huh?
After the exam.
No, after the exam, I'm not speaking to you. I'm
Oh,
done.
Are we watching the same documentaries or not documentaries, movies? We're watching If You Will?
I don't know. I literally.
We watch Atlantic Gates.
You have to get a permission slip signed for that.
But can't be watching.
I don't care. I have a couple other ones I was thinking about showing you. I think watching India's Daughter would be good.
Second part, right?
Aviator.
I'm already going to be watching that because my AP World kids have never seen it. And so today they were like, oh my God.
We watched what movie did we watch? Disney movie, Ariel or something last year.
No, I wish. If I did, I'd watch it every other day. I love The Little Mermaid. Anyway, we're moving forward. We're getting a little off track. What? You've seen me without glasses on before.
You look so great.
Alright, somatoform disorders. Please listen up. People always, these are probably one of the hardest ones. I have a ton of videos for these just because they are kind of, they are really hard to explain. These are the hardest ones of the entire 5 categories. These are the hardest ones of the 5 because A, you probably don't know anyone with it. B, they are a little tricky because it's all based on psychological, not physical, but they have a ton of physical aspects. All right, so the first one is your what are somatoform disorders? So the next category is somatoform disorders. They are disorders that take the form of a bodily illness and symptoms, but for which there are no physical disorders. There are physical markers that have no cause. Your muscles are spasming, but there is no reason for it. That is somatoform disorders. that your your head thinks there's something wrong, but there's no physical reason for it. That is somatoform. And they're very tricky, very hard to diagnose by doctors. Most of them go undiagnosed for years. It's a huge deal. Macy.
Is this like general pain disorder? Like you know,
It's we call it conversion.
you call general pain disorder conversion?
In psychology, we call it conversion disorder. Like they're just in pain and we have no idea why.
Yeah, that's like the it goes along with like degenerative disorders. Like,
Yeah,
it just causes
we group it under this whole thing called conversion, and under each of these disorders there are specific ones. Generalized pain would be under that. So your first one is called psychosomatic disorder. It's a disorder in which psychological stress causes a real physical disorder or sickness. Okay, what that means is your psychological state will trigger a physical disorder or illness. All of you at some point have done this to yourself. However, you don't do it on a very regular basis, so guess what? You don't have a disorder. Does that make sense? Have you ever worried about something so much you threw up?
Yeah.
Hello?
Yes.
Yes, that technically is a psychosomatic disorder. However, if you did it all the time, it would then be a disorder. If you've done it a couple of times because you were in high stress situations or whatever was going on, that's fine. It's completely on its own. If it happens all the time and you make yourself throw up, like you physically throw up all the time because of stress, that would be psychosomatic disorder. Do you see the difference? Just like a panic attack. I've had panic attacks before, but I don't have panic disorder. Yes,
Is
Madison.
that like what people say, like, oh, people who have more stress in their life get sick more?
Get heart disease, yes, get all that stuff. So your psychophysiological disorder is the modern term for psychosomatic disorder. Oh, how did we run out? It's okay, I have all day tomorrow, so we're perfectly fine. We are queued
Is
perfectly.
there treatment for them? Like,
We talk about treatment in 2 weeks. When we get to treatment.
I should learn them all at once.
It's too much.
Or like if we just learn like
You're really getting into this week, aren't you? You really are, that's awesome.
if we just learn like anxiety disorders this week and then we could learn like them and then their treatment all at once and then do somatoform disorders and then them and their treatment.
on the wait list for
Yeah, but that's not how your book is, and that's a lot of work on me. Mia, make sure you say happy birthday to Caitlin. It's 16, you know, it's a big one.
No, there's 4 people on the wait list, but I don't know what happened. So don't worry. No.
Goodbye.
It's like a big group, like 25 people, but like
I love
all the sponsors.
And we should watch What About Bob.
What about Bob? What is that?
You never seen What About Bob?
No, what is that about?
Bill Murray, where he plays a guy with multiple disorders.
I've never seen it.
Great movie.
Check it out. I have to watch it before I obviously show it. Oh my god, what a day to be alive, man. What a time to be alive. Jeez, man. Yeah, have a nice day, sweetie.